You know, I am thrilled to be here, and I want to thank the Ohio Farm Bureau, because when I was growing up in Canton, Ohio, Tom's hometown, I had a Palomino rocking horse named Trigger. When I got my first car, at the top of that, get to the top of the curve, I named that car Trigger. Even today, I sign most of my emails, Happy Trails. You see, I am a country girl stuck in a city girl's body. And so I love it being surrounded by agriculture. And I actually wish I knew more about agriculture, but I can tell you what, I have learned many things today, and I continue to learn every day. And of course, I am happy that I'm here to represent the Certified Angus Beef brand. Now, the Certified Angus Beef brand, how many are you familiar with it? It's, oh my heavens, take a picture of that, please. Certified Angus Beef brand is the largest and oldest branded beef program in the country. Am I not clicking properly? Oh, sorry. I'm technologically challenged, sorry. Anyway, you know what? It's actually what I want people to just see is this, and that's why I chose this outfit for today. But Certified Angus Beef actually started in the mid-'70s with a bad steak. And there were a group of gentlemen sitting around, businessmen and farmers and ranchers, that said, why is it that I can buy a steak at Bueller's one day, a strip steak, and it tastes great? And I go back to Bueller's the next day, I buy the same strip steak, not so good. It's because there was such a wide range of choice, sorry, there we go, of choice in the way meat was graded. So the Certified Angus Beef brand was created, and you can see our mission statement up there. As we heard today, everything needs to start with a mission, and this mission is to increase the demand for registered Angus cattle. So how do we do that? We do it through a specification-based branded beef program. And what it is, I always say it's like Oreo cookies for beef. You know, it doesn't matter where you go to buy Oreo cookies, whether it's a 7-Eleven, Walmart, or Bueller's, you're going to know what an Oreo cookie tastes like. Certified Angus Beef gives you consistent quality, flavor, and juiciness because it is a specification-based program. The innovation is there, but we had to back it by science. So that's where we started in 1978. You can see Governor Rhodes there kicking off the first sale. That is in a store in Ohio, but I'm not sure which one. What's confusing for most people, especially the retail partners and food service partners with which we deal, is the fact that we are a not-for-profit organization. We are a member of the American Angus Association. We are, in fact, the marketing and education arm of the American Angus Association. So it is with pride that I stand up here knowing that I represent over 30,000 farmers and ranchers and members of the American Angus Association. But if you come to our office, our world headquarters in Worcester, Ohio, you won't see any black animals out back. People say, where's the beef? There is none. All we own is that brand. You know, our first director, Mick Colvin, has an expression that he likes to use, and he says, with integrity, nothing else matters. Without it, nothing else matters. And that is what our brand is all about. Today, we are the leading fresh branded beef program in the world, excelling 700 million pounds sold last year. And it was interesting because we were talking about innovation. John was talking about that. What do you do when the economy tanks? You know what? Folks voted with their mouths. We had a great year. We had a record year. We had almost a 19% increase in sales last year. And so what we found was, particularly in a down economy, when people go out to eat, or if they're cooking at home, if your income, your money is even more dear, you want to spend it that much more wisely. And so we are not a smoke and mirrors program. We are, like I said, we have those 10 science-based specifications. And you're going to see some repetition up here as I talk about those specifications. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I could stand up here and most likely rattle off all 10 of them. But you know what? What do you care about when you bite into that steak? What's the number one reason you taste? Exactly. Because you want it to taste good. You know, when you put a mouthful of whatever it is in your mouth, The first one has to be the wow. You know, I don't care if it is the pound cake, the chocolate chip cookie, the macaroni and cheese that we enjoyed for lunch. It's all about that first mouthful. It doesn't get any better than that in most cases. So the number one reason consumers purchase beef is the taste. And, of course, we spoke about this earlier, too. We have to have value has to equal price in this relationship. People want to know they're getting what they pay for. So, you know, I had to pull up some graphs here, too, though I'm really not a graph kind of girl. But these are statistics that show some connections with purchasing patterns. But the bottom line is right here. If it tastes great, people are not only willing to pay more for it, and they will be more likely to buy it. So, again, the science-based specifications in terms of the product. The key specification, just for clarification here, is the marbling. The marbling, as you know, are those little flavor packets, the little white flecks that are in the red. They melt, they give the beef its consistently tenderness, flavorness, and juiciness. That is what we look for in certified Angus beef. And just so you know, most of these specifications were developed by the Ohio State University in collaboration with, I think, Nebraska and Oklahoma as well. So this is just a diagram I put up here to just show where certified Angus beef brand is in relation to other beef that is out there. One out of every 4 Angus cattle is good enough to make our grade. And of course, you know, we were talking about, do we say harvesting facility? At the processing plant is where the rubber meets the road. Of course, a lot of it goes back to genetics and careful planning to make, to try to hedge your bets as to make sure your cattle grade properly and high enough. But it is at the processing plant. They make a cut between the 12th and the 13th ribs, and that is where the USDA grades the program. And it's specifically, like I said, the key is marbling to those specifications. So consumers do know the brand. When we do studies, yes, they know the brand, they recognize it, but quite honestly, what we're dealing with right now, we got to that point where consumers recognize the brand, and I guess you would say it almost got to be too good, because now, anybody have a guess how many other branded beef programs there are in the United States? Any? Well, there are over 70. Certified Angus beef was the first. It is the oldest, but there are over 70, if you'd like to call them, copycat brands out there. And I am not dissing them because some of them also have very strict specifications. None of them have 10, as our brand does, but there are other programs out there. You can see some of them listed there at the bottom. But what can be a blessing in terms of consumers recognizing our brand has also turned into a bit of a curse. How many of you have seen Angus burgers at McDonald's? And people say, oh, you must be so happy that your beef is in McDonald's. And we have to say to them, I could give them the long answer. Let's go into those science-based specifications. But reality is, I just have to say, no. Our beef is not at McDonald's. Our beef is better. And then say, would you like to know why? If you open that door for me, then we're happy to tell you about our brand. So again, a couple more slides there on the dominant logo recognition. And so that is the Cliff Note version of the certified Angus beef brand. And does anybody have any questions? I try to zip through this, Ann. Right. Well, you know what? I have to say, when I was learning how to do a presentation many years ago, someone once said to me that there are 3 keys. One is you have to stand up so people can see you. The other is you have to speak up so they can hear you. And then to stay on timeline, you have to shut up so they still like you.
Well, you were successful on all counts.